I'm Cindy Carter, and I've been raising, caring for, and working professionally with dogs for more than 17 years. I'm bringing the best of my wisdom to you right now in Social Dog. Bow wow, this is Cindy Carter, and I would like to welcome everyone to the Social Dog Show. Today's topics is going to be tips and inspiration from the Association of Professional Dog Trainers convention that was last week. If you don't know who APDT is, it's the world's largest professional dog training community, the world's largest, and it's always right there at APDT.com, right at your fingertips, whether you're a seasoned professional or you just got a puppy and you're looking for a great trainer. It's a great resource. I'm not quite sure how many years they've been around, but they've been around for a while, and I know they certainly have helped educate me, help my clients who have moved find great trainers in their new neighborhood. So anyhow, with all that, we have a full show jam-packed with the latest information out there to share with you. Now, I want to make sure I cover this. If you have any questions or issues about your own personal dog, your neighbor's dog, your mama's dog, we're here for you. I don't care what the show topic is. Remember, there are other people that are maybe shy, don't want to come live on air and ask a question. Be the person to step up and ask the question for them. Your question, I'm sure there's thousands of other people that have the same question. They're going to be so grateful for you asking your question. So if you want to call in live and ask the trainer, our number is 760-456-7277. Marilyn will be posting that on our Facebook page in case you forget, but it's 760-456-7277. The Facebook page, Social Dog Show. If you have a question and you are shy and don't want to go online, we get a lot of questions on our Facebook page, Social Dog Show, or you can also listen live on inflowradio.com. Boy, we love inflowradio.com. We're so grateful to them. Now, today is a special day. I am joined today by Alan Welch, who I'm so humbled to have on the show. She's the head trainer at Walks and Wags. She's also a member of APDT and just spent the whole week filling her head with all this incredible information she's going to share with us. She's also the head evaluator at the Walks and Wags daycare, and her motto is, a trained dog is a safe dog. As I mentioned, Alan's going to share with us new tips and inspirations for you and your dog. Join us, please. Your dog wants you to. Your dog is begging you to. Join us as we talk about all these exciting new training techniques, tips, and products and adventures for you and your dog. So, with no ado, I want to go ahead and introduce Alan Welch. And let's all wish her a happy birthday. She's here on her 30th birthday. Hey, happy birthday, Alan.
Yay,
Alan, are you with us?
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
I am.
We're
Just
so
put out
excited
there
to
how
have
old
you.
I am, huh? Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We're happy to have you. So I know you just have all kinds of information. You gave me some little bullets and stuff, but you want to tell us anything else about you other than it's the big 3-0 today? Well, tell us something about you.
I love, and you know this, Cindy, but I love giving back to the community that I'm a part of. So I volunteer twice a week at 2 different places, at our local rehab center for wild animals and at one of our local shelters. So I definitely encourage everyone to get out there and give back to your community. It
I love
takes
that.
care of you. You got to take care of it, right?
That's right. That's right. Good point, Alan. And you also help find homes for dogs in the shelter after you've worked with them for a bit as well.
I know you have one. You have one of the dogs that I picked out
Yes,
from
I
the
do.
shelter.
If you hear any barking in the background, it's Mr. Wilson telling you hello. I know her.
I know. I love that boy. He's so sweet.
He is. He is a good boy. You picked a good one. So I know we have a limited time here. So is it if it's okay with you, can we jump right in and let's start talking about the APDT conference and what really impacted you there? I know one thing all I've been hearing lately is cognitive canine. What is
I am
cognitive
so
canine?
excited. So, I went to a cognitive canine seminar, which is basically just teaching dogs that to think more. We're so used to, okay, dogs got to listen, dogs got to respond as soon as we tell them to do something. They're not really thinking, they're just kind of falling into just looking to you for whatever answer they need, which is good to a certain extent, but just like if you're walking around your day, you want to be able to make your own choices too, right?
Sure.
So there are a bunch of different games where you can, like one of them's called the bucket game, where you teach your dog to look at this bucket and you can groom your dog. And whenever your dog looks away from the bucket, that means that it needs a break, right? It needs a little bit of time before you start grooming again.
So wait a minute. When you teach the dog to look at the bucket when the dog needs a break,
no, to look away from the bucket. So when you're grooming, the dog stares at the bucket, or you can teach them to rest its head on something, and when it picks its head up,
that's so
then it's
sweet.
their cue that they need a break. Yeah. So it's a great way to kind of get you connected more with your dog and kind of seeing what your dog is saying to you.
Now who gave the seminar? Who was the person?
Pat Miller.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was wonderful. It was
She's been
by far my favorite thing that I came away from it with.
Got you. She's been around a long time, Pat Miller. And didn't she win like the Lifetime Achievement Award this year in dog training?
She did. It was wonderful. I'm so happy for her. She's wonderful, and she's so nice to talk to. I ended up being able to talk to her for a minute and get her to sign one of my books, and she was just so nice and wonderful and gave me lots of tips on how to add this cognitive training into my own classes as well.
Cool. Weren't you sharing with me yesterday, too, about dogs reading? Can dogs actually read in this cognitive canine class you're teaching?
Yes. So what it is you make a sign and cue them to do the command every time you hold up the sign. And you start working in other signs and working towards them being able to look at the word and choose what command that you're looking for by looking at this word.
So what were some of the words?
Just like sit and down. And I heard of somebody teaching their dog to raise a paw on command, and which paw it is, like the left or right paw. So there's a lot of just endless possibilities for it. And really, it's just teaching them another command for the same cue. Or no, another cue for the same command.
That is so cool. One thing, thinking about you talking about this class too, the dog Alan helped my son pick out is a ginormous Mastiff Bloodhound mix of some kind. And a larger dog takes more time to think, for the connection to come all the way back to the brain and for them to get the aha moment. Okay, that's what she wants me to do. or read or whatever. So that's one little tip. If you have a larger dog, instead of just sitting there saying, sit, 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 or wait, 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 give your dog a moment to think. I learned that from Alan, by the way. Cool. Any other games Pat Miller had in that cognitive canine class?
A ton. She had where you teach them to discriminate between different shapes or different colors. And a game where you play a choice game, so they get to pick what treat they want to eat or if they want to go outside or not. And then also, which is the one I'm super, super excited about, is a copy game or an imitation game. So the end goal is to set your dog up, tell him to watch, and then you perform an action or another dog performs an action and you tell your dog to copy and they do the same action.
Oh my God, that's so cool. So like if you go and touch the door, then you tell your dog, you train your dog to copy that, and then your dog goes and touches the door. I know that's a lame thing to say, but it's the only thing I can think of, like, for them to copy. Oh, that is totally cool. I love that.
So
I love
neat.
that.
I cannot wait to teach. Yeah, it's so much fun. It's so exciting. And you can see the dogs just thinking and using their brains to go, okay, what are they asking of me? And it's so cool to me when you see a dog stop and actually think about something versus just, okay, I know this rhythm, let's sit down, roll over. Instead, they're trying to puzzle out a problem.
Yeah, and they're all individuals. And, if we did the same thing day after day after day, we'd be bored out of our gourd as well. They love being enriched and using their mind. It's just as physically demanding as a physical workout. So you can have a mental workout and a physical workout, and then you have a very happy dog. Alan, what about, is there anything else, or can I move on to another question on cognitive canine?
We can move on to another question if you'd like.
Okay. I just don't want to miss anything from that cognitive canine class, because that was awesome.
I'm super
what about
excited.
this enriched base puppy training?
Okay. So the woman who gave the talk on that, her name's Tina Patel, and she explained about how the way that they do their puppy classes, and it's not just a puppy class, it's this whole experience for the dogs where they come to their facility and they experience all of these different things for them to walk on, such as gravel and wood and tile and grass, and experiencing climbing up things and going down things and meeting other dogs. And then after that, they start teaching the dogs. So instead of, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so getting them familiar with all the different textiles they're going to run across in their life as a dog, so they're not they're not unfamiliar, they're familiar. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. And so instead of teaching the dog commands first, they're exposing them first, and then they're going, okay, now let's teach you stuff. And then that way, you're already familiar with this. Now we're taking that element out of it. You're not going to be worried about the rest of it. So now we just have to worry about getting you to train. So this woman is amazing and has so much cool knowledge about dogs. And they also have a summer camp for kids. It's just, there's so much stuff that we can learn from them.
So what is the name of her business?
She is in Orlando at the University of Doglando.
So she's at Doglando, and they have a children's base camp. Can you tell me more about that children's base camp? Like, do the kids bring their own dogs, or they have stuffed dogs?
They actually pull dogs from the shelter, and it's a
Oh,
2-week program where they give these kids so much different experiences and let the kids feel their feelings and kind of discuss things and come up with things themselves. Um, and they bond with the dogs. Like, it's completely on the kids to take care of these dogs, and to train them and pull them from where they are and kind of teach them to trust again. So it's a great experience for kids, and it's also, they're enriching these dogs' lives that they pulled from the shelters. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program that I know I want to learn more about, and start maybe bringing into my place of business as well.
right, right. Especially since you have the connection at the shelter already and you have the training
Yeah.
center. That would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Plus, you'd be giving back and sharpening your blade, training blade as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And her name is Tina. That's Teena Patel, Patel. And again, I want to say it again because if you're in the Orlando area, you want to look into this place called Camp Dog Lando. Camp Dog Lando. And
Now,
of
it's at
course, go ahead.
the University of Dogland. Camp Dogland is their summer camp for kids.
Ah, okay. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
clearing that up. University of Dogland. Okay. Neat, neat, neat. Um, what about did you learn anything in regards to different ways to motivate your dog? Like, I hear a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I don't want my dog just to work for treats, can I have them work for a ball?" But again, they're all different. Did you learn any new tips on motivation?
Well, the biggest thing that they talked about this year, as far as motivation goes, is a lot of times when you start training, you get so focused on, well, I don't want them to be stuck on using treats forever or using this motivation forever. But training training is expensive in the sense of you want to pay your dog for all of the behaviors that they're giving you. If you go to a job and they don't pay you for the work that you do, then you're going to find another job, right? Well, it's the same with them. They're giving you work. They're doing the stuff that you're asking. So you want to make sure that you're paying it back to them. And don't stress about phasing out the treats. That'll all come in time. Um, just worry about making sure that they're getting rewarded and that they're getting back for giving you this, for giving you their attention, for giving you whatever cues you're asking for.
So it's part of conditioning them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, okay. Now, I know, I know you recommend a lot of treats to people. What treats? Just while we're on the topic, because I know you're very savvy in what you recommend people to use. What are you
Mm-hmm.
using and recommending clients to use in your facility?
My favorites right now are called Bear Bites. And we typically use the beef liver treats because
Okay,
they're easy to break up and you can break them into whatever size you need, and dogs
okay.
go crazy over them. Um, there have been very, very few dogs that don't like them, and they're 100% beef liver. So there's no additives into them. It's purely just the beef liver, so you know what you're giving your dog too.
Yeah, it's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the milk bone. And another thing I've noticed about those when we're training our dog at your facility, Wilson, is that you can break them into tiny pieces. So, as we were talking about a minute ago, as say you're training your dog to loose leash or something like that, and you're dropping treats
Mm-hmm.
as you're walking, you can drop little bitty pieces so they can just pretty much inhale them and enjoy them while they're training, and they don't have to stop and chew and swallow. It's just they can keep walking as they scoop them up and eat and continue on. And I think
Yeah.
that's huge. Tiny, tiny treats, not big, giant treats.
Yeah, and you don't want to. A lot of dogs in our area also tend to fall into the a little too healthy sized. Um, so using the smaller treats, using the smaller treats helps keep them at a healthier weight too.
Good point. And you want to feed them something healthy. Make sure you don't have any preservative or chemicals in them.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Good, very good point. Very good point. You might give them, if it's a day that you're going to a training event with your dog, you might consider not feeding your dog that morning or evening so that you take a hungry dog to training so your dog will be more motivated as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What about anything else under motivating dogs in any other kind of way, or?
Well, we could talk about training treats. So if you're feeding your dog when you come to training and you're giving them milk bones or something and they just aren't, they'll work for it, but they aren't that excited about it, change it up. Try different treats. Find what treats they really want to work for so that when you go into different situations where you need a bigger motivator, you know what you can pull out to go, hey, you need to pay attention to me. Look at what I've got, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Great tip.
Mm-hmm.
Alan, what about pet tutor? Can you tell us?
Okay.
This is someone from APDT.
Mm-hmm. They were there. They have a automated feeder, where it's got a little remote control, and you can press the button, and it'll drop a couple treats down at a time. Now, the really cool thing about it is because it's got this remote control, it also has tilt features on it. So you can put it in a toy, and every time your dog goes and plays with the toy, it'll drop a couple treats down. So your dog is thinking, so your dog has to start thinking about, okay, well, how do I get this treat? Like, what do I do to get this? What toy do I need to go to?
Oh, wow.
Or you could take the toy and hide it so that they're having to go find it, or put it upstairs so that they're having to go up and down the stairs to go mess with the toy, then go get their food. So they're getting a little bit of extra exercise as well.
Awesome. So, and that's pet, PETTUTOR.com, pettutor.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is canine colors? I know you put that on my bullets. Like, are we teaching dogs to color?
I
know we can make them pink.
Not quite. I'm sure that we could. I'm sure that there's someone out there that can definitely do it and has done it. But this was a seminar given by Beth Bowers, and it was about identifying personality temperaments in people and dogs. So whenever you're training your dog, like I know, for instance, my dog, she loves the spontaneous. She loves going and doing. She loves being with us. She doesn't need a whole bunch of structure in her life because she's accustomed to us taking her with us to all these different places. And she's gonna tell you if she has an opinion on something. She's a very vocal dog. She's a husky, and that's just her. But that's not the same personality as another dog. So the Canine Colors was about using these different colors to figure out what a dog's personality is.
So like a personality test for a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Cool. Oh,
It
that's
was
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Oh, man. So how long does it take?
I am not sure on that. What do you mean by how long does it take?
Like, how long does it take? Like, say, I want to do a personality test on a human animal. You know, I pull up the computer and I'm like, here, answer these questions.
Yeah.
And it's going to tell me if they're an I, a C, or what they are. But for a dog, so I was just wondering, like, how long was the test to tell about their personality?
Well, in the seminar, she talked more about people personalities. So it wasn't so much this is how long it takes to do this, but explaining it a little bit more and showing the different personalities, and not just in dogs, but in people as well.
I gotcha. So where can we find out about canine colors more? Or can we just Google canine colors and what was it, Beth? What was her name?
Beth Bowers, Bowers.
What a cool last name to be in the dog business.
I know, right?
Yeah. So what about, was there anything there, or can you tell me anything there that, like, what if I wanted to go on a vacation with my dog and
Okay. So there was a company there called Happy Tails, that plan vacations for you and your dogs. So it's it's super, super interesting, and something that I know I want to get our customers involved in, and maybe do like a group outing with some of our clients. But they will schedule your vacation and kind of figure out what you can do with your dogs, and it's just a great way for you to bond with your dog, and experience things with them that maybe you haven't experienced and maybe they haven't experienced before.
That's cool. So is it like just in hotels or?
No, they go to beaches, they go hiking, it's all sorts of. So it seems pretty flexible as far as that goes.
Okay. Okay. I tell you what, we're about halfway through the show. I'm going to go ahead and take a break right now. I know you have a bunch more to share with us. And anyhow, if you're cool with it, I'll go ahead and take a break now. Don't go away.
Fine.
I'm going to be right back. We just got to show a little love to our affiliates. And we'll be right back with Alan Welch and more about all the awesome stuff she learned at the APDT conference. Before we go, I want to tell you about betterbowl.com. They make these patties with a base blend. It's mixed with a high-protein topper for a complete diet. It's a whole food supplement. Think of it as a superfood or a superfood smoothie for your dog. You can always add your kibble to it. It's a full spectrum of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and omega-3. While a totally raw, whole food diet is ideal, your dog should see the benefits of these nutrients when combined with a high-quality kibble. And we love Better Bowl so much, and they love us so much. You can go to our website at socialdogshow.com, go to our resource page, and you can click on Better Bowl and use a coupon code called Cindy, CINDIE 20, and get 20% off at any time. And if you would, please go to their Facebook page, show them a little love, let them know how you like it. That's the only way they know if you're happy with their product or not. So anytime. Cindy, CINDIE 20, betterbowl.com. We'll be right back, folks, in just a minute. It's Cindy here, and I have all kinds of resources to help you raise your furry family member. Come visit me at socialdogexaminer.com, where I have an ebook that helps you introduce your dog to a new dog and get the relationship started right. Dogs have unique needs and ways of understanding the world. Your best friend is counting on you to understand him or her. So get my ebook and help your puppy make friends. It's at socialdogexaminer.com. Hi, it's Cindy. Give me a call in today's live show by dialing the U.S. number 1-760-456-7277. That's 1-760-456-7277. I'd love to answer your questions or share tips to help you understand your dog. Hi, it's Cindy again with the Social Dog Show, and we have our fabulous trainer of the day, Alan Welch, who is sharing all these motivational tips and information that she learned at the APDT conference. I do have one question, Alan, before you get started, and okay. I have someone asking, my dog seems bored lately with the same old games. Are there any new games to help stimulate my dog?
Yes. So there was a company at APDT who they're called Outward Hound. And they have a ton of different games that you can put your dog's food in and have your dog work for. That are great things to stimulate their brains into working more. So it's a great way to give them a little bit of extra enrichment in that sense.
Cool. So that was Outward Hound. I know of them like making like hiking gear and stuff for dogs, but I didn't realize they made games and stuff too. That's cool. Maybe they're
they had a bunch. I wish I had a larger suitcase that I had taken with me, because I would have come back with a lot more stuff.
Aww.
But yeah, I was already kind of overdoing it with my suitcase. I was surprised it came back in one piece.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So I'll make sure we post that on our Facebook page. It's outwardhound.com, and they got a great selection of toys to help stimulate your dog. Cool. Thank you for answering that. Alan, I know you got a ton of information, so I'm going to let you kind of just take over so I can quit, like I might be slowing you down a little bit. We got about a little less than 30 minutes. So we talked about Happy Tales, I think, was last, and they'll book a vacation for you and your dog. That's cool. That's very cool.
It's very, very exciting. And I think it's a great way to connect you more with your dog.
Right.
And give your dog that extra stuff from its life. I mean, like you were saying earlier, it's kind of boring if you do the same stuff every day. And your dog's going to feel the same way.
Absolutely.
So finding extra stuff. So talking about dogs using their brain a little bit more, one of the topics that I wanted to talk about was Mr. Ken McCourt. He is this fabulous trainer that trains all sorts of canine species. And he had a seminar on the neurobiology of training.
Oh, wow.
So, for instance, did you know that there's only one layer of cells between a dog's nose and their brain?
Ooh, no. And you know I love information
Yeah.
about dog noses. That is cool.
Yeah, so they always have to be super careful when they're collecting cells from a dog's nose because you do not want to go too far. But that's just how connected they are to their noses. So that gives you kind of a clue as to when your dog's sniffing around. And they say that your dog can smell things that you can't. They really can. There's all sorts of stuff going on in there. And he did a great talk on the pathways and your brain works and how, like when you're driving, if you're driving to work and you always go the same direction, it gets kind of easy to where you aren't necessarily completely focusing when you're driving anymore because it's just this pathway in your brain is so set up that you're just following this pathway. So when you're teaching a dog a new skill, they have to develop a new pathway and how you have to feed that pathway and why it's a good thing to train in a positive manner. He was talking a lot on how you don't want to be in the reactive manner of the brain because then they're just going to fall back into stuff that they've been doing, right? You want to use positive pathways or positive training so that you're making new pathways and associating all of this good stuff with these new behaviors for them. So
That's
he
cool.
was wonderful.
Anything
really,
else
really
he
cool
shared
to
about?
listen to. He had a whole bunch of information about how neurons work and all of that. I cannot recite it out of my brain.
Okay.
Because that's not how my brain works so much.
Cool.
But it was really cool. It was really cool.
Can you tell me his
name? He also told us about a story.
One more time?
McCourt.
Ken
Ken
McCourt. Okay.
MCCORT.
MCCORT. Ken McCourt. Neurobiology of dogs. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
He's really cool. He works a lot with wolves, it sounds like. And he had a whole bunch of stories about working with them. And it was just so cool to hear, so neat to hear, especially with me volunteering at our local rehab center for wildlife. There were definitely a couple of animals that I was like, oh, I would love to try this with them. I'll have to talk to our head biologist and see what she thinks. But it was very, very neat.
Cool. I'm going to enjoy looking into that. That sounds cool. Especially, I notice like if I take a different route to and from work with Wilson, the bloodhound, you know, he just like perks right up, head hanging out the window like, oh my God, new smells. So, let's see, I thought I just had something on him. I think Ken McCourt is the guy who owns Four Paws Animal Behavior in Ohio with his wife, and his wife's a veterinarian named Marilyn.
Yes.
Yeah. That is too cool. All right, so we definitely want to check him out in the future. Thank you, Alan. That was a great tidbit. And
awesome.
What else you got for us? We got about, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe?
Okay. So another thing that, speaking of, it's easy for dogs to fall back into those old pathways in their brains that are well used and have all of this experience with. there was also a man, and I'm going to mess up his last name. His name is Michael Shikashio, I believe,
That sounds like a
who
tough
did
one.
yeah, he did a talk on how he works with aggression cases and dogs. And one of the big things that he kept bringing up in the beginning is if a dog's doing something, if you take your dog out on a walk and every time you take them on a walk and they're lunging and barking and then you want to stop taking them for walks for now, so that you can work on that behavior before you start bringing them back out. Because the more you take them out and the more that they do those behaviors, the more they're going to fall back into those old habits,
Right.
and just kind of feed those brain pathways and keep them going and keep them alive, versus making new pathways for them.
Right.
And he talked a lot about your dog is like a drum, right? Like a big bucket. We'll say that.
Okay.
And if you have a dog that's afraid of men and you've got men walking around your home, if you've got a dog that's afraid of people with hats and you've got people with hats walking around, that just adds into their bucket, right? And all it takes is one little spark to make them spark off. But the more stuff that's in their bucket that's stressing them out, so if they're hungry, that's going to add to it. If they're stressed out, that's going to add into it. The more fuel you've got, the easier it's going to be for, if there's a little spark, for something to spark off and for them to have a reactive behavior like that.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of information that he gave us too that was really cool, and it was cool to see him. He had some examples, and it was really cool to see how he handled certain cases, and to see the dogs kind of, okay, this isn't so scary, and working through their problems and figuring out how to overcome what's by them.
Right. Also for trainers too that are a little inhibited working with aggression issues for obvious reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his website, which is just incredible, is Complete Canines with the S, CANINES.com. He works with animals with aggression, separation anxiety. All these people that Alan is talking about, they're the best in the world, top of the industry. So CompleteCanines.com is another website you're going to want to check out, especially if you're dealing with some aggression or separation anxiety. Thank you, Alan. You're just giving us so many great resources.
It was wonderful. I always feel like after ABDT, I have to come back and give my day like my brain a day to rest before I start getting back into the real world, because there's so much that they show us, and there's so much stuff that they talk about that your brain is just so full by the time you get back. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
Let's see. Let me check my time here. I think we have 11 minutes, 10 minutes left.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. So you go. I know you wanted to talk.
You're good.
You and I were talking yesterday. What was the guy's name?
Was it Trevor Smith?
That was marketing, Trevor Smith.
Yeah.
Tell me some more dog stuff. Training dogs in shelters, multiple house dogs. You just take off, whatever. And I know the dog gurus were there, and we've covered the dog gurus extensively. And I'm their biggest fan. Anybody wants to start a dog business, a dog daycare, any kind of dog business, the dog gurus is definitely where you want to go, and they'll make sure that you're taking every step with a lot of thought behind it. But Alan, back to ABDT and you.
They will.
What else you got for us?
So Mr. Ken McCourt was
Yes.
the person who did the seminar on multi-dog households as well, or multi-animal households and how to work them in. And he had a lot of great information. And one of the biggest things that I took away from it is to take your time. Don't stress about having them worked in together within a couple days. It can take time, especially if you have a rescue dog that you're bringing in. You don't know their history. You don't know what else is going on in there, what pathways have been awakened and kind of reinforced, like we were talking about with the biology of training. So the biggest thing to really work on is taking your time. Let the dogs have space. Don't worry about throwing them in together and hoping that it works for the best. Let them meet on neutral ground. Don't bring a dog into your dog's area and go, okay, here you go. I hope you get along. Give them the time that they need. You don't want them to be stressed out whenever they're meeting this new
right,
or feel like they need to protect their area when they're meeting a new member of the household.
And that just reminds me, on our website, which is socialdogshow.com, if you sign up to be on our list, we will give you a free ebook called How to Introduce Your Dog to Another Dog. And I believe we have some other information on there, too, from family planning. And I definitely don't want to forget about this. This evening, there's a webinar. I believe it's $35 from Family Paw Parents. If you know of anybody that's expecting a baby and they have a dog at home, you just, $35 is a bargain. Family Paw Parents. And I don't know, it's going to be about an hour long on do's and don'ts about keeping your baby safe, not having to rehome your dog, making your dog feel loved, your bonding and nesting with your new baby, how to do things right to prevent any kind of possible problem. Sorry, if I wouldn't have said that right then, Ellen, I would have forgot it. And today's the day. So you still have time, and it's so important. Oh, my gosh. FamilyPawParents.com. Go sign up for that webinar if you have a baby, a toddler, or you're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have about 6 more minutes, ma'am. Multiple.
Go
ahead.
Multiple dog households. Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Ken McCourt, he had a lot of information. He was a really, really interesting speaker. He was awesome to listen to. And then I wanted to mention Trevor Smith, like I brought up a minute ago. He is over at Dog Dojo, and he was talking about doing a 180-day challenge. And I think that we're going to take up the mantle and do something not quite that big, maybe do something like a 10-day challenge over on our Facebook page. And I'm super excited to kind of get in that and get other people enjoying that and getting them involved as well.
What is, just real quick, what is Dog Dojo? They teaching them karate or something?
No, he's a dog trainer. He's a dog trainer, and he just did a 180-day challenge, I believe, for training tips every day.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's insane to me. I don't think I could even sit down and come up with 180 things right off the top of my head. So that's a lot of stuff to be teaching. So give him a little shout out. He was wonderful, and he's a super, everyone that I met was so nice.
It's stellar.
So nice. Yeah.
So his shout out is it's dogdojo.org, and it's DOJO, www.dogdojo.org. Dojo, DOJO.org. And man, he's got a phenomenal website. It's world class. Find out about health and wellness, dog ownership, what you should feed your dogs, not feed your dogs. Just a lot of great information to keep you and your dog enriched, excited, and not bored and fall into a routine. And like Alan's saying, just a tip a day. So you definitely, all these people are world-class people that attend the American Pet Dog Trainers Association to enrich the lives of dogs and the trainers to share with the families, our guardians of the dogs. Okay, I got Dog Dojo. Anyone else, Alan? Did you see Kathy Sato there by any chance? She's always a phenomenal speaker, trainer.
I do not think that I went to one of hers. I do not know if she was there.
Okay.
I did run into Miss Bennett a couple of times, Miss Robin Bennett.
Okay.
I got to talk to her. She's always super, super nice. Speaking of the dog gurus, I was getting stuck on Dojo. But speaking of the doggy gurus, they are so wonderful. I absolutely love going to these things because I always see Robin Bennett. And I know that she's a board member that's heading out. But she's so wonderful. I love talking to her.
Very giving person, all about the dogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm sure they were sharing their new launch formula program for people who've either been in business for a while and maybe are having trouble getting the cash flow right or the bottom line correct. Her and Susan Briggs and Robin Bennett, the doggurus.com. Definitely another world-class operation, helping people do things correct. Would you recommend any trainer to go? Would you recommend a trainer to go to APDT, Alan?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much knowledge that's there, and you have access to these wonderful trainers who love the fact that you're there to learn. So they're so willing to talk to you. And if you have any questions, like with Miss Pat Miller and her cognitive canine games, I ended up going to her book signing and got to talk to her for a couple minutes. And she was so nice and just giving me ideas about how to add this stuff into my training. So it's just a wonderful experience. And you learn not just about different training techniques, but also about like why dogs behave the way that they do. So it's not just giving you, well, I think that we should do it this way because
Gotcha.
it shows that it works, but why it works, why you should choose this method.
Gotcha.
So it's wonderful.
Well, Alan, thank you so much for coming on your birthday and sharing all this information. I know you must be wiped out from the convention, just burning the midnight oil. But thank you, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to listen to the replay of this over and over. Happy birthday. Thank you for taking your time out on your 30th birthday. I want to give a shout out to PlantaceaCBD.com. It's organically grown. There's no GMOs. They're THC free, grown in the USA. Thank you. So go check them out if you have a dog that has some anxiety problems or is just a little nervous. Plantaceae has a great, healthy CBD treat for your dogs. Folks at Better Bowl. And don't forget about Inflow Radio. And stay tuned next for Doyle Ward. He's giving away a free 15-minute reading. Thanks and have a doggone great day. This is Cindy Carter with the Social Dog Show. If you loved today's episode, would you do me a favor and rate it on iTunes? It's a way to give back. Just a simple star rating will do. And of course, if you have any feedback, ideas, or suggestions, I'd love to hear that too. Email me at socialdogexaminer.com. I'm always looking for new, healthy, heart-centered resources and ideas to explore for our canine friends.
This show is brought to you by inflowradio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.